Hello. Hello, hello. Um, so where would I even start? Well, I guess I could start with how I came across podcasts because I don't listen to them regularly. I don't even do anything regularly, honestly. It's in spurts, like inconsistent spurts of a craving to listen to people's voices and have like meaningful, fruitful conversations. I I started with this one podcast. They it was the cast of Community. Yes, the cast of Community had a live Zoom open table sort of podcast that they uploaded. And I was like, wow, it's so nice to hear them all speaking together again, but like in their own voices and saying their own words that is off script. That's insane. Oh my god. The entire concept of speaking off script for like commercial audiences just to listen to. That hardly makes well, I guess reality shows is something like that. Even that's contrived though. I don't know. It's that's a tangent. I was talking about how I got to podcasts. My first or one of the first was the Community uh open table podcast, and then there was also Midnight Gospel, which was turned into a Netflix cartoon animation. And oh my lord, I would love to speak on topics similar to what they spoke about on Midnight Gospel. And then one day, if one day I learn all the tricks of the trade to having a successful podcast show, I'll turn it into my own cartoon or animation. And yeah, the idea wouldn't be revolutionary and fresh and new, but it'll go to the genre of it. And having it still be my own is so exciting because I love cartoons. I love animations. I love sound effects, Foley, background music, and really just deep thinking conversations, critical analysis of metaphysical concepts, and just diving deep into it without needing a specific structure. Just see where it goes. And that feels like rule breaking. That feels rebellious. And being a young adult, that's like everything I'm chasing after. I don't think I've breathed that entire time I was speaking. Oh, that's something I've been doing lately, meditating, but like with breath work and sometimes along with music. Yes. I mean, I've done that unconsciously before, but being actually focused on trying to just simplify all my attention to just my own body, my own senses, my own thoughts and mind, and being, ooh, it's it's like magical. You know, in those shows where they say if you want to harness your powers, you have to uh, focus your energy and direct it with intent. Literally, all they're talking about is just the power of mindfulness. Seriously. And that's like what's taught in therapy. Oh my god. I downloaded this I downloaded this podcast app called Stereo, and it got me really excited. And then I was on the app for about 5 minutes until okay, it was pleasant for the first 4 minutes. I just started talking about Midnight Gospel, the community thing, my aspirations for possible podcast ideas because I do love talking. I love using my voice, and that's something I want to consider doing for the rest of my life, possibly as a career. Using my voice as a voice actor, a podcast host, an artist, or did I say voice actor? Well, well, yeah. I don't know. Any way I can use my voice is exciting, especially when it doesn't have to be filtered through anyone's preferences or any strict topic. Oh my god, I freaking dis I despise people of a certain entitlement. Certain people. Oh my god, I don't even want to think about it. It actually takes my energy away and frustrates me beyond belief. It makes me want to like bring myself to a lower vibration in as simple terms as possible. I can put so many words into the way I feel, and all that will do is just drain me. And that's like another form of self harm. I don't want to self harm. Yeah, maybe something we're somewhat used to is like tolerating pain and harm at the expense of our own well being so that we can, exist alongside the rest of the world. But that's an absolute pain. I'm also kind of relieved that we're living in a panty. I don't know. We're living in a panoramic. I've seen people just like saying that online or over the internet. They'll just like, there's a word for it. It's not a euphemism. Is it a euphemism? They use euphemisms like deliberately saying the word pandemic wrong. And I just kind of like it. I like how absurd it is. Speaking of absurd, I love absurdist humor so much. It's hilarious and also ridiculous and stupid. And I love it because it's it's deliberately stitched together that seemingly makes no sense. But if you just give it a second thought, oh my god, that is so clever. And why would you use your cleverness to make such a stupid joke? And I kind of appreciate that you would use your cleverness to make such a stupid joke. I make stupid jokes with myself all the time. And I wish I would just like acknowledge that it can be stupid without calling it stupid because that is negative self-talk. I keep forgetting to breathe in between words and sentences. Okay. Um Podcast ideas. I was talking about this with my one of my classmate friends, and she said, wait, no, I told her I would love to just be able to talk freely and endlessly about bathrooms or the specific genres of music that I like and what they mean to me, and maybe it'll resonate with so many other people, and I think it will. But it's just a matter of actually doing that and then finding the people I'm most comfortable having a meaningful exchange of conversation with. And I have found those people, and I am comfortable talking about like anything I please with them. And it's organic and it feels good. And I don't want to taint that by putting a microphone in between us and then like just continuing in that. But sometimes the conversations are just worth more than just enjoying in the present. Or maybe I just would like to keep the conversation, like just as a souvenir of a really good, meaningful interaction with people who like to listen to me and who I like to listen to in return. My God, that is so respectful. I've had such disrespectful conversations. The fact that Oh, sorry, VLW, FLW. I am talking like I don't want to waste anybody's time because I feel that if I talk any slower, people will possibly get impatient or bored and leave before I get my idea out. Because that does happen a lot and it's very disheartening. But that's the whole point of podcasts, is just speaking ideas at your own pace, thinking out loud, and like deeply considering every word you say and the intent of contributing to a fuller conversation with somebody instead of just to somebody. Yeah, everything I'm saying probably won't make sense. So, um, it's just nice to be able to have a platform to let the words free, even if, like, stitched together, they're just fragments of an idea. I think that's the whole point of a podcast to me. But if you have ever listened to podcasts before, I'm curious about what makes you like them. I mean, generally, it's just nice to hear people just go back and forth about one focused idea, right? Or that's how I see it. Then again, my perspective is limited. That's why it's so important to exchange it with other people in a respectful manner. Because, oh my, you won't get very far having a conversation without any respect or without taking any responsibility for the words coming out of your own mouth. That is so harmful, and I don't want to spread that around. Ugh, there's already enough of that on the news, in politics. They just talk over each other in debates, and I'm so tired of just the argument. Oh, that's cool. Oh my god. Do you have, is it in explicitly just Portuguese, or do you also speak in English in the podcast? I'm curious. Ah, okay. A lot of people from Brazil, like, can type really well in English, and I'm kind of jealous that I was born and raised in America with so many other cultures, and my parents were from the Philippines, and they spoke their native language. Meanwhile, I only know English, and that doesn't make me feel very good, 'cause I knew more. I wish I could know as much as my parents did in their own language. But I guess that's inspired me to, try to master English as well as possible. So, I have pretty decent grammar. I do like writing a lot. I have an extensive vocabulary that I love to use at my own disposal. Um, I don't know, linguistics in general is just a huge interest, because the more words you know, the more words you mean to say and truly understand in every aspect. I don't know. It just builds something wonderful. It's like every thought and feeling contained within your own mind can be more truly expressed. Huh. Wow. I mean, I feel like I've known that, but I've never understood it from that way. English is the key from the rest of the world. Very important to know. Wow. There's there's this band that I was just reminded of called Bedroom, and I only thought of them right now because there's a song called, what was it? I can't remember what it was called. Nothing lasts. Nothing lasts, I think is what the song is called, by Bedroom. The video that I would have on replay almost all the time was to that song, and halfway into the video, it would cut to a screen with a bunch of Portuguese, um, like typed out, and I don't know what it says. I think they even translated it below, but I wonder if Bedroom is a Brazilian band, because they sing in English, so it might not be. I think maybe they just have like many fans from Brazil. Yeah, I don't know. They're a really good band, by the way. They have really nice atmosphere. You know the song. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Yeah. From that song, I like went on to discover the rest of their albums and discography, and it's just a really good soundtrack. If my life were an indie movie, half of the soundtrack would be just music from Bedroom. Oh, it brings I don't like saying this word, but like such a chill vibe. um no, really, the vibrations are just soothing and nostalgic and a little bit sad and melancholic, but it also feels loving in a reaffirming kind of way. Like, rest assured, Bedroom is here for you. No, actually, listening to Bedroom feels like laying down on a bed. Like walking into your bedroom and just slumping down on your bed. It feels like you're welcome home. That feels, oh, I want to like cry happy tears. Lo-fi makes me feel so light. Yes! There's been so many lo-fi playlists that I put on my watch later on YouTube. I keep it on the watch later playlist and eventually I come back to it. But I've put so many on there that there's just so many that I still haven't listened to. And then I don't scroll down far enough to ever listen to them again. But I think, I don't know, at some point, sometime, somehow I'll have either the patience, motivation, desire, or intention to actually appreciate all the different playlists. I love lo-fi playlists so much because they always have them organized in a certain, like a very specific feeling, or "You're the girl I haven't met." I'm sorry, I don't understand what that means. If you could help me um, comprehend what you mean, that'd be great. But I, yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Oh, a song from Kudasai. Oh my god. Okay, okay, okay. I've been making playlists on Spotify, but they're not lo-fi playlists. Usually my lo-fi and vaporwave and generally more relaxing music is on YouTube. And I used to have YouTube playlists when I used YouTube Red, but my subscription for that kind of stopped and then I didn't pay it up again. But I'm gonna look up that song. Ear, the girl I haven't met. Kudasai. The girl I haven't met. Ooh, there's a Bisquick remix and then an extended version and the regular version. So I've added both of those to my watch later list. That's what I was talking about. My watch later list. It's just so full of videos that I know I would love to just like absorb. But then I don't watch it for a long time. I used to be able to watch YouTube videos and play so many playlists in like a single day. But now it's like I only ever have time for later, which kind of messes with me a bit. Like I'm I think maybe if I think about it in a lighter sense, then I'm keeping myself available for the present moment right now. So if I can save a video that'll be around forever, and if I can save it to watch for later, then I'm doing myself a favor, I think. um, yeah, I don't know. That's another thing I've been focusing more on um, since the beginning of this year. So one is using my voice to speak my intellect, what interests me, what concerns me, and how I contribute. That's what matters to me the most. And I want to use my voice to bring that into existence because that's what I'm meant to do. These words are meant for me to use. And I can't stand the fact that so many people out in the world will use their voice to silence my own. That is so frustrating and painful to live through, to live with, that I'm just not going to tolerate anymore. Except I'm so used to tolerating it that it's so hard for me to walk away as soon as I know it's happening. But the sooner I can walk away from a situation I know I won't um gain anything from, choosing my battles. That's step 2. Step 1, using my voice. Step 2, choosing my battles. Knowing when speaking up is worth it if I'm not going to be heard. If I won't be heard, usually before recently, I decided that if I'm not going to be heard, if no one's going to listen, then why would I waste my own breath, my own vocal cords, my own strength? But now, some time has passed and I've gotten a little bit more mature, just a little bit. I will use my voice whether or not I am being listened to, whether or not I'm being heard, because so many other people in this world are doing the same thing, but for reasons that are harmful. I want my reasons for using my voice to heal everyone, to heal other people, to protect those in need of protection, to do well. If I'm going to be a people pleaser kind of person, then I'll do it in the smartest way I can. Talk about whatever you have inside your head. Give life to this. At least that's what I believe. That is a great, incredible belief to have. There's many beliefs that just, I don't know, I haven't spoke of, so I don't act on. But I'm so tired of filling my own head with other people's words because they just, ugh, they occupy so much space. They take up so much room. And that's cool. That's great for them. I respect that. But when it starts impeding on my own space, my own headroom, that's a violation. That's abuse. That's abusive. And I'm not going to tolerate that because I matter. My issues, my happiness, my joy, my respect, it matters to me, yes. And it may not matter to anyone else, but the fact that it matters to me is more than enough reason. I should never have to explain that to anyone. No one needs me to explain that for them to already understand. That's their responsibility to take on. It's respectful to listen to people, no matter what their what's it called? I lost the word I was looking for. Well, status. No matter what a person's status is, they are worth listening to. Until they start to disrespect anyone else's values. Beliefs are hard because there's no amount of truth that will fully justify it. It all just becomes rationalizations, which aren't inherently bad, but they're not entirely facts. And if it's not entirely fact-based, then a lot of logically motivated people will just run you over. I've been run over by logic-minded people so much because I am emotionally minded. And that doesn't invalidate my logic. It still makes sense to me. It doesn't need to matter to anyone else how I make sense of my reality. Because their opinion won't affect that. They can try, and I might believe that it will, but it won't. Oh my. I don't want to be a hurt person because of how people behave. It's something it takes effort to be mindful of. Yeah, it is sad. It's a little disheartening to hold so much hope for people made out to be hopeless. And it's also exhausting doing the right thing should never have to feel exhausting. Yes, it will always be the harder thing to do. The right thing is always the hardest, but it should never exhaust people to the point of just straight up giving in to the easy thing. But there's so many people in this world that disagree so strongly. It's it kind of feels like our whole world is ripping itself apart. Sometimes when I think about it a little bit too much, when no one else speaks up to stop me from going down that train of thought, it's kind of heartbreaking. And that's my reality or my perspective of adulthood. It's facing that pessimistic world and deciding for myself, choosing for my own well-being to still go forward, to still move on with optimism in mind. Because I may not be able to change the world, but I can change myself. And that means a lot. Because I still matter. And I am a part of this world, but this world is meant for me. I may not be meant for this world, but this world is meant for me. And again, logically, those words in that sentence might not make 100% factual sense. But you can understand emotionally, connotatively, just how much that means. The right thing to do is a hard choice. Lost some hours looking to my ceiling thinking about this. Well, those hours, I personally don't think you lost. I think you dedicated some very worthy hours to very valuable thoughts. It's important to really think hard, critically, discussing with your own head voice. What is right? What makes things right? And why is it hard to do what's right? I suppose. Thank you. It'll be easy to blame the capitalist society for giving more power to the already powerful, rewarding the shortcut and easy way, lazy way. While also belittling the people who try their hardest not to be lazy and still come out on the lower end. It would be easy to blame society for everything wrong with the world. And so a lot of people choose to do that. And they just leave it at that because they don't have to think about it anymore. They can move on from that and go on with their lives without taking responsibility for their own role in the world they live in. Even if it's minuscule, even if we're only one person, one grain in the grand scheme of history, I believe that we create ripples. We have an inherent effect on the timeline of the human race. If you know the metaphor where a flap of a butterfly's wings can create a tsunami halfway across the world, the butterfly effect. It's not exactly a metaphor, but it is a philosophical idea. And I fully believe in that. I think it brings me some peace to believe that, to choose to believe that the world has gone through all the change it has evolved over thousands and thousands of years, just so I, personally, me, just so that Reina can live here today. Think about it like that salamander walked out of the ocean and evolved into a human over millions of years, and that human gave birth to a human, and that human gave birth to another human, and another human gave birth from that human, and so on and so on and so on. Until eventually I was born, and now I'm real. And I don't think I'll become a mother, but I know there are children out there who do need someone to care for them. And I'm willing to do that. I want to be a part of the next world that comes after ours. I'm very glad. I'm so very glad that you came to join me. Even if it's just you and me. At least one other person knows. Maybe one day I'll have an actual podcast. And it'll have a real structure. Or maybe it won't ever have a structure. That's exciting too. I just know that I'm going to be in a very strong mindset. And I already know I have lovely ideas. And they've just been waiting to be expressed. And there are so many platforms to express myself on. It's just a matter of taking these chances. And I'm going to start taking them. I talk to myself all the time. I have incredible thoughts. And I refuse to let these thoughts be belittled by the people who refuse to understand them. So I'll continue giving out my light so that people who really will listen can step into it. and I won't have to chase or argue or convince anyone of my truth, of my own experiences. Because that is painful and degrading, disrespectful, and irresponsible. And that's not who I'm going to be. I will be my best. And that's gonna be incredible. My best will be a beacon of hope for my past self and my future self, and everyone I meet in between. I could have my own TED Talks. And it doesn't even have to be a TED Talk. It doesn't have to be inspirational. It just has to be real. That's all I want. I'm gonna cry by my own realizations. No, I'm not going to cry. I might cry after this, but not on camera. It's getting late, and I'm still a little bit hungry, so I might go eat before bed. But I'm really happy I made this live, and I think I'll do it again. I'll make another live and talk about similar things or completely different topics. And maybe I'll start bringing guests on. And maybe I'll even set up my microphone so that the audio is actually quality to listen to. Because I do have a microphone here. It's just waiting to be used. It's just waiting to be spoken into. But I haven't set it up. See, that's the thing. I have all the tools, knowledge I need. The matter of doing is just at the tip of my fingers, and yet I cannot grab it with my whole hand. I will grab it. Because this is my time. Your own podcast on the radio. Yeah. The brightness in everybody's eyes. It just brightens the rest of the world. And it means something. It means a lot. It may be insignificant in the history of human being, but history is written by the oppressors anyway. I would rather be a part of the present and the future than the most important historical event. And to be completely honest, I'm already a part of the most historical event. We're in a global pandemic, and I am alive in my bedroom, speaking about hope. And you're watching, just you. And I might cry at how happy that makes me. Oh God. Next time, I think I might want to talk about spirituality, because that is something I'm getting very interested in. That might include astrology, zodiac signs, the study of the stars and the planets and how they affect people. Because I do love planets. I love planets more than I love most things. Nah, I love a lot of things. Most people. I love planets more. I think praying to planets might be a very lovely thing. I like to pray to the moon. The moon can be my personal divine being. And I was raised to believe in God. But God doesn't mean as much to me as the deepest ocean. You know, like the deep sea, the deep dark sea. Most of the world is covered in the deep sea. And a lot of that sea has not even been discovered. We know more about space than we do about our own ocean. In this people. I like to think so. I like to believe in parallel universes, alternate timelines, even like pocket dimensions, or just any other dimension. Because it can't be proven wrong. There's reasons to feel sad about how big the Earth is, about how full the world already is. But there's just as many reasons to celebrate that. I was thinking about this last night. I want to celebrate being a small part of something so big. Even if I am a big part of something small, like Earth, in the scheme of outer space. Because, Earth is a relatively small planet compared to the Sun or Uranus or Saturn. But if you're able to think of the Earth as small, and if you're able to think of the Earth as big, then why not apply that same way of thinking to your own self? You are a body made of cells. Those cells are made of organs, organelles. Or maybe reverse that. It's getting late and I'm a little bit tired. Full sense, but your cells can be broken down into atoms. And there's theories that even atoms can be broken down into, I think they're called quarks. Quarks? So in a way, every single person, especially myself, and especially you, can be a whole universe. Exactly. That's an incredible thing for the bacteria anywhere on our body, even in our stomach. Bacteria in the stomach thinks that the stomach is like a universe. The bacteria in our stomach can't even comprehend that I am alive. It doesn't even know there's anything beyond the stomach. So how could I possibly ever deny life beyond outer space? Or even life in the most unsurvivable depths of the sea? That's why I believe in mermaids too. I genuinely do. I watched a documentary about God, thank you, God, for the rest of the pasta. Yeah. That just made me think. Like, feeding your own body is giving, is like blessing the cells, blessing the bacteria, offerings in sacrifice, in honor. Your own existence could be your own religion, and that's completely valid. And no one should ever have the power to disrespect that or belittle it. But humans make up their own rules, and they can lie too. I don't know how different good and bad can be from each other, but I will do everything in my power to make even bad people be good to themselves and the people who love them. I also really like numerology, everything occult, and, the study of divinity. Very superstitious, but it's really, I'm not going to say but. There's nothing wrong with believing in superstition. There's nothing wrong with believing in anything as long as it brings you love for your own life. If we think of the world like it's a human body, egotistical actions from bad people can be thought of like cancer to the world. I like that. I love metaphors. That was a really good metaphor. You think of the world like a human body. Egoist actions from bad people will be like cancer for the world. That kind of reflects exactly what's happening, with the pandemic. Selfish people are only spreading sickness. Kind people retreat because they know that this battle is not worth fighting over. I'll go to sleep now. Good night. And I hope to eventually speak with you again, because it was very pleasant and I enjoyed it very much. Get some rest, put on some soothing lo-fi, and settle. Me too. Bye.